Castillo will be live with the latest details. Then lawmakers are already reacting to the growing scrutiny over the U.S. airstrikes targeting drug boats off the coast of Venezuela. Why President Donald Trump says a second strike was not only lawful, but also necessary. And it's December 2nd, and it looks like we might be topping out close to 68 degrees. Robert, is that normal for this time of year?
Monica, it is not normal, but we will be reminded what chilly weather feels like on Thursday. I'm going to have your detailed forecast. We're live on KTSM 9+, and your news starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Big changes could be coming to Sun Metro. The city is now looking at a major overhaul of its bus network, including deactivating more than 600 bus stops across the entire city starting next summer. KTSM 9 News reporter Diana Castillo, she is live with what riders need to know. Diana.
Monica, I am here at the West Side Transit Center where you can see people come and go every day. Now, Sun Metro says they serve nearly 7 million people a year, with many aimed, and these changes they're proposing are aimed at getting them around the city faster. Now, the system-wide restructuring is called Sun Metro Rising, and it was presented to City Council today. Now, according to that presentation, 609 bus stops would be deactivated based on ridership data that found 135 stops had 0 riders, 256 averaged fewer than 1 rider per day, and only 19 stops saw more than 10 riders. Now, the plan would also reduce the number of routes from 52 to 39. And Sun Metro says optimizing those routes would improve how often buses arrive, cutting average wait times from 58 minutes to 42. Now, Sun Metro leaders say the restructure is about making the network more efficient and helping riders get to their destinations faster.
Really what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people from point A to their destination faster. And so what we did is we're streamlining all the routes. And so yes, there will be some bus stops taken away, but they'll be only affect less than 1% of the people that have to walk 5 to 15 minutes to the next bus stop. But as soon as they get to the next bus stop, they also get the benefit of the optimization of this new network.
Now, Sun Metro says they've been gathering feedback for months, talking to riders at terminals, on buses, and through their app and website. But during the presentation, District 1 Representative Alejandra Chavez said her district could be among the most affected, and she's still seeing people use some of the stops proposed for removal. Now, Sun Metro says that they are prepared to adjust the plan if ridership shows certain areas still need service. Now, the city expects to launch the new network in June of 2026. And coming up at 5:30, you'll hear from people about what they had to say, people who use Sun Metro on the daily. But that's coming up at 5:30. For now, in the West Side, Diana Castillo, KTSM 9 News.
Diana, thank you so much. Meanwhile, the city of El Paso is asking the state of Texas for an exemption to keep the rainbow street markings in downtown El Paso. As we first told you back in October, Governor Greg Abbott told cities and counties to remove roadway markings that display political or ideological messages. It's all part of a push to make sure only traffic-related symbols stay on Texas roads. Now, the new state mandate on pavement marking standards would prohibit rainbow-colored sidewalks and paths honoring LGBTQ+ pride. The city of El Paso sent KTSM a statement about their request, seeking an exemption to the new state mandate, saying in part, quote, "The request reinforces El Paso's commitment to maintaining a consistent, predictable, and safe transportation network, while highlighting that existing pavement markings and temporary installations for community events are not political or commercial and support roadway safety and high pedestrian environments," end quote. And today, El Paso Water is inviting you, the public, to an open house to learn more about how El Paso Water spends its money in our community. This all comes as El Paso Water officials have a proposed budget for the next year and a rate increase for their customers. As we've told you before, if the budget is approved, water and wastewater bills would increase by almost $10 per month. That's a 12% increase over last year's bill. Now, the open house kicks off at 5 p.m. at the TEC H2O Center on Montana. And KTSM 9 News reporter Jesus Baltazar, he's going to have more on this meeting coming up in our later newscasts. All right, let's go ahead and take a brief pause here and talk about our other headline, and that is the weather. Today has simply been just a beautiful day, but you know what? With this weather, I feel like one day you get comfortable, it's nice and warm, and the next day, bam, it is super cold.
You know, it's December 2nd, and you reminded me, yeah, this is a little crazy for this time of year.
Shouldn't it be colder than this?
Yes, it should. I feel with weather like this, sometimes I'm going to expect a bill. No.
I already sent my bill to you.
We've got enough bills to pay. Okay, 66 degrees. The weather is absolutely free. I guarantee it forever. We've got a dew point at 32, 28% relative humidity right now, 61 in Las Cruces. So you left those 50s and warmed up as expected. Well, tomorrow will be another mild day. The only change for tomorrow is we're going to see the skies go from perfectly clear in the morning and to mostly cloudy to overcast by late in the day as a little low pressure system begins its approach out of New Mexico. That'll bring us at least a slight chance of a couple of drops here or there. Better chance for some light rain up in New Mexico, maybe even some flurries up in the mountains up around Ruidoso and Cloudcroft. That's on Thursday. We're going to drop down to 58 degrees on Thursday, so we're going to need to find the coat, and then we'll start to warm right back up again. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at our TxDOT cameras, and this is what we are seeing. I-10 red. This is also Artcraft. That Artcraft exit. Things are not too bad, and it looks like TxDOT is trying to zoom in on something. Not sure exactly what. Maybe the congestion, but it doesn't look too bad so far. A big 2 thumbs up. Well, over to an update now. Police have identified the man who died in a train crash last week in Las Cruces. As we've told you, the crash happened last Wednesday at around 2 p.m. along the 1700 block of South Main Street. Now, police say that Manuel Jose Aguirre was walking north on the railroad tracks and didn't pay attention to warnings from the train. He was then hit and died on the scene. Well, from our border report, farmers once again are blocking all 4 commercial port of entries, continuing a protest over a new water law they say is unfair. Now, as we've previously told you, the issue is a 1992 law to protect Mexican farmers once a free trade agreement set to open the door to farm imports from Canada and the United States was finalized. The agreement previously gave farmers water rights, which they could transfer. However, that changed this year with Mexico dealing with a population boom and a growing need for clean water balanced against water supply management as U.S. lawmakers demand the country make good on its outstanding water debt to America under a 1944 binational treaty. Negotiations are now underway in Mexico City to try to resolve this issue. Well, a man has been arrested after allegedly firing shots at a bar in central El Paso. Coming up, we're going to go over your thoughts and today's In the Comments segment. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
Scan to download KTSM Plus free.
Welcome back to in today's In the Comments segment. A 29-year-old man has been arrested after allegedly firing shots at a bar in central El Paso. Now, according to police, 29-year-old Armando Estrada Jr. is being charged with deadly conduct, aggravated assault, and this after investigators learned that Estrada had been in a fight at the Incredibles bar on Alabama, and while leaving it, allegedly shot at the business. Now, this all happened late November. Police say no one was injured in the incident. He was booked on a $5,000 bond. Now, we ended up sharing this story all over social media pages, and a lot of you had lots you wanted to share. So we're going to start off with Augie Valdez, who writes, "Who told him to bring a gun to a fist fight? Just all around bad." Meanwhile, Lydia E. Gordon Thatcher writes, "Why was his bond so low? I guarantee this wasn't his first crime." And Gomez Johnny writes, "All the 29 through 59-year-olds party like it's still 2005. And here at KTSM, of course, we value your opinion, and we definitely want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Well, coming up, lawmakers are reacting to the growing scrutiny over the U.S. airstrikes targeting drug boats off of the coast of Venezuela. Up next, we're going to tell you the details from Washington, D.C. Stay with KTSM 9 News.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so R&B music star Khalid is continuing. I know, I thought there was going to be
She told
video.
me there was a, I know, she told me there was a
There it
story
is.
coming first. Sorry, I am fixing my tie, you know, because that's what we do with every precious second.
We do, we
Okay,
do.
go ahead.
So he has a tradition, right, Khalid does, of giving back to the El Paso community. And earlier this morning, Khalid actually brought holiday cheer to students from Waco Elementary School. Now, the pop star personally handed out gifts to hundreds of students, all part of his annual Christmas with Khalid toy giveaway. This tradition does bring music, celebrations, and of course toys to Borderland students.
Unbelievable.
Wow, how incredible. I love when celebrities give back.
And so many of his songs are about El Paso.
I know.
That's what's even better. He's a world-class star, and he writes about our town.
And he's here.
And he's right here, giving back. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
How's my time?
Oh, it looks perfect.
Okay, great,
You did
great.
such a great job.
All right, let's take a look at the high temperatures so far today. Man, looking good. Look at this. 65 for Juarez. We've been at 66 so far. 61 for Las Cruces. 61 Alamogordo. 64 Deming. No complaints here. Now, granted, this is very much above normal, and I've got in the long-range forecast even more above normal temperatures for you that I've got to show you. We are going to be reminded what chilly winds feel like on Thursday as we get a little low pressure system into New Mexico, and that's going to stir up the winds, cloud us up, maybe even a couple of drops of rain. Let's compare with other towns across the southwest. Dallas, of course, the high yesterday was 39, so what a warm up for them at 48 so far today. 61 Brownsville, 69 Phoenix, and 51 for Albuquerque. We can expect it to be pretty quiet tonight. We've got a steady breeze that will come in from the southwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. That's going to keep it mixed. It was pretty cold last night, dropped down to 34 at the International Airport. I think we're going to be a little warmer than that this evening at about 40 tonight under clear skies, and we can thank the mixing from these steady breezes from the west and southwest to keep us a little bit warmer. Here are the temperatures in your neighborhood right now. Now, again, we'll be dropping down to about 35 in the valley tonight, so another cold night. But temperatures not quite as frosty as they were this morning. Tomorrow, your exclusive 9-hour forecast looks like this. High temperature 66 degrees. We're going to start out with just a few clouds, a lot of sunshine, but as the afternoon goes on, more and more cloud cover thickens, so mostly cloudy skies by late Wednesday evening. Here's your allergy forecast. 12 tomorrow and then 9 for a couple of days after that. Low temperatures tonight. We're going down to 36 Alamogordo, 34 for Deming, 40 for Juarez, 40 for Van Horn. Your high temperatures tomorrow. 60 Alamogordo, 62 Deming, 66 Juarez, and 67 for Van Horn. So still on the above normal and mild side. Low temperature for you tonight, 35 degrees Las Cruces. That steady breeze lightly out of the west-southwest. Tomorrow, your high temperature 61. You too will turn cloudy late in the day with the chance of a couple of drops coming down right around midnight or so into early Thursday morning. 40 low temperature tonight at the International Airport. A little cooler in the valley, a little breeze, and then the winds get a little bit stronger tomorrow as those clouds start to thicken over the borderland. 66 our high temperature. Now coming up, we'll talk about at least a slight chance of a couple of drops of rain on Thursday. Better chance for rain in New Mexico. You stay with KTSM 9 News.
Sponsored by Truly Nolan Pest Control. This week's question comes from
Robert, how do you forecast the weather?
Excellent question. How do I forecast the weather? Well, as a meteorologist, I can promise you that no two meteorologists forecast the weather exactly the same way. So here's my style. First, I print up the current models. Second, I like to analyze the atmosphere graphically, looking at the layers over time. 9 days, in fact. Next, I love the SKU-T diagram because it shares with me information about moisture and instability. Finally, I sit back and I synthesize or think about all of this data. Most importantly, though, experience. Weather is not an exact science, and experience counts. Thanks for your question. Now that's science made simple.
This segment is sponsored by Truly Nolan.
Welcome back, everyone. The fallout continues over U.S. airstrikes on a boat off the coast of Venezuela that the White House now says was carrying drugs. The administration stands by a second strike on that boat that killed survivors. This is all part of an ongoing operation targeting drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean. Maddie Beer-Temple has a reaction from lawmakers.
President Trump says these operations are about saving American lives. He says he wants the boats taken out and says the U.S. will attack on land soon. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is defending U.S. attacks on boats off the coast of Venezuela believed to be carrying drugs.
We've only just begun striking narco boats and putting narco terrorists at the bottom of the ocean.
But the first of those boat strikes, September 2nd, is now under scrutiny. A recent Washington Post report alleges Hegseth issued a verbal order to kill everyone on board, which Hegseth disputes. After the initial strike left survivors, an admiral ordered a follow-up strike.
Admiral Bradley made the correct decision to ultimately sink the boat and eliminate the threat. It was the right call. We have his back.
The president says he stands by the Pentagon.
I still haven't gotten a lot of information because I rely on Pete. I didn't know about the second strike. I didn't know anything about people. I wasn't involved in it.
Lawmakers are questioning that September strike.
Let me be very clear. Killing shipwreck survivors is a war crime.
California Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu and even some Republicans have concerns.
I'm very, very concerned about an order that would say kill them all.
House Speaker Mike Johnson urged people to reserve judgment until all information is out, but says
secondary strikes are not unusual. It has to happen if a mission is going to be completed.
The admiral who ordered the follow-up strike will provide a classified briefing Thursday to lawmakers on the House and Senate Armed Services Committees. In Washington, I'm Maddie Beer-Temple.
Well, very soon people will have to pay more if they board a flight without having a real ID. Yesterday, the TSA announced that starting on February 1st, travelers will be charged a $45 fee if they do not have this updated ID. The agency will also require people to verify their identity through a biometric or biographic system. If they do not have a compliant form of identification, the TSA says the fee will cover the administrative and IT costs associated with the ID verification program and ensure the expense is covered by the travelers and not the taxpayers. The TSA also says that with a lost or stolen real ID or passport, we'll also have to pay fees. All right, well, don't go anywhere. We're going to have another half hour of news and weather coming up right after this break. You're watching KTSM 9+. Welcome back to KTSM 9 Plus. I'm Monica Cortez. We begin with big changes coming to Sun Metro. The city is looking at a major overhaul of its bus network, including deactivating more than 600 bus stops across the entire city starting next summer. The system-wide restructuring, called Sun Metro Rising, was actually presented to City Council today. 135 stops had 0 riders, 256 averaged fewer than 1 rider per day, and only 19 stops saw more than 10 riders. Now, the plan would also reduce the number of routes from 52 to 39. Sun Metro leaders say that the restructure is about making the network more efficient and helping riders get to their destination faster.
Really what we're trying to do is we're trying to get people from point A to their destination faster. And so what we did is we're streamlining all the routes. And so yes, there will be some bus stops taken away, but they'll be only affect less than 1% of the people that have to walk 5 to 15 minutes to the next bus stop. But as soon as they get to the next bus stop, they also get the benefit of the optimization of this new network.
Now, Sun Metro says that they've been gathering feedback for months, talking to riders at terminals, on buses, and through their app and website. But during the presentation, District 1 Representative Alejandra Chavez said her district could be among the most affected, and she's still seeing people use some of these stops proposed for removal. Sun Metro says that they're prepared to adjust the plan if ridership shows certain areas still need the service. And over to our border report. Police in Juarez are investigating the murder of 3 men whose mutilated bodies were dumped at the southern entrance of the city. Signs next to the cadavers used by Los Mayos, a faction of the Sinaloa cartel. Members of Mexico's National Guard found the bodies a few yards from the Pan American Highway before dawn this morning and notified Juarez Municipal and Chihuahua State authorities. 2 of the bodies were wrapped in blankets. The third was partially inside a plastic bag. The cause of death and identity of the victims were pending. No arrests have been made in either case. And earlier in our show, we said that farmers were blocking the commercial ports of entry. Well, we are now learning that they are not blocking, but rather demonstrating in protest over a new water law they say is unfair. As we've previously told you, the issue is a 1992 law to protect Mexican farmers once a free trade agreement set to open the door to farm imports from Canada and the United States was finalized. That agreement previously gave farmers water rights which they could then transfer. However, that changed this year with Mexico dealing with a population boom and a growing need for clean water balanced against water supply management as U.S. lawmakers demand the country make good on its outstanding water debt to America under the 1944 binational treaty. Negotiations are still underway in Mexico City to try to resolve this issue. And several maquiladoras went into emergency mode because of the protests. Trucks carrying auto parts, computer boards, and medical equipment sat at the border for days while farmers protested. Some assembly plant managers turned to the skies for relief. Charter airplanes flew out of Juarez carrying up to 16 pallets of parts or raw materials that would then normally arrive in the Midwest by truck. Each charter cost the plants between $70,000 and $90,000. At least one flight took off with 40 tons of assembled goods. Other managers just waited out the crisis. Well, 9 businesses received preliminary approval this week to grow, manufacture, and sell medical marijuana in Texas. It is one of the first steps to grow the state's medical marijuana program. And for the past decade, only 3 companies have been allowed to supply the state's medicinal program. Lack of access and convenience is actually what prompted state lawmakers to expand the program this year. But some are questioning who is getting the licenses. Capitol correspondent Dylan McKim has more.
I created the business out of a need that I had in my own community.
Lauren Bridges, a hairstylist in East Texas, will soon move her side business into one of the largest spaces in downtown Longview. A hemp boutique. Her journey started a few years ago when she became a patient in the state's medicinal marijuana program to help treat her PTSD. She didn't like the product options.
It was very narrow. There was like, sleep gummy, like a basic gummy, a couple of tinctures. There just wasn't a lot of selection.
She was not alone. Family, friends, and some of her hair clients had concerns with the program's cost, lack of access, and limited products. So she started her own hemp boutique to fill that need and called it Alchemy TX.
If the medical program would have been sufficient, I don't think Alchemy TX would have ever existed.
The state is now growing its program, announcing Monday 9 companies that will provide medicinal marijuana access across the state, part of a revamp of the program that started at the Capitol this year. Nico Richardson, the CEO of Texas Original, which is currently supplying medicinal marijuana, said, quote, "With these new licenses, the broader list of qualifying conditions and new treatment options allowed under House Bill 46, patients gain more choices, new formulations, consistent dosing, and better delivery methods so they get the care they need," end quote. Almost all the new companies are from outside of Texas and already operate in other states. One company, Lone Star Bioscience, said it is located in this building. It's across the street from the Texas Capitol, but we could not find their office, and a front desk worker said they had not heard of the company in the building. Bridges questions the credentials of the new companies and says she wanted to see more Texas-based companies involved in the expansion.
It doesn't look like a business that was already operational that is going to move into the medical sector. A hemp business could have easily done that.
In Austin, I'm Dylan McKim.
Now, these 9 companies are not allowed to start selling just yet. The Texas Department of Public Safety said that it will continue to evaluate each business. 3 additional businesses will be announced on April 1st of next year. All right, let's go ahead and talk about weather, because right now we're seeing those clear skies. It's been so nice. I really haven't had a need to grab that jacket this afternoon. It was super. I can't get over how cold it was on Sunday, Robert.
Yeah.
I really cannot. And you said we may see a repeat soon?
You know, when you say Sunday, it takes me back to the gloomy clouds and the 52 degrees.
Oh, it was so cold.
Almost unbearable. You know, we people back east who are dealing with feet of snow.
They're probably like laughing at
They're
us.
probably
like,
really? You're suffering there. We'll show you it. Yeah, okay. All right, let's take a look up in Ruidoso right now, where it is quite lovely. Oh, I see a couple of clouds right there over the peaks, but other than that, it's just gorgeous and in for a beautiful night tonight. Temperature right now, according to their airport, is 46 degrees. We've got dew point at 19, 34% relative humidity. Right now at the airport, it is 66, so mild, so beautiful. But if you'll notice, we have a little bit of a steady breeze coming in from the west. That's good for a few degrees tonight. I think we'll be up at about 40 as a low temperature at the international airport. Here are the high temperatures so far today. 66 for us, 65 Juarez, 61 for you, Las Cruces. Satellite radar composite, we shall stay clear, but change is coming, and it comes late tomorrow. We're going to see the skies turn cloudy as a low pressure system approaches for Thursday. Here's a quick look. Tomorrow, 66, clouding up, maybe a couple of drops on Thursday as we chill down to 58. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, millions of Americans' health care premiums are expected to spike next month. That's if Congress fails to act before the month wraps up. Our DC's Raquel Martin reports as lawmakers scramble to find a compromise on the future of the Affordable Care Act.
The pressure is on for Congress to tackle rising health care premiums. Come December 31st, expanded Affordable Care Act subsidies will expire.
We have 12 working days for Congress to act.
At a Tuesday press conference, Democrats urged Republicans to simply extend the tax credits. They emphasize even veterans, roughly 250,000 of them, could lose coverage, potentially overwhelming an already strained VA system.
They're not prepared to also take the influx of people who will find eligibility there. But many veterans are just going to be flat out stuck.
Following a morning huddle, some House Republicans expressed openness to a short-term extension.
Whether it's 2 years, 1 year, with modifications.
But House Speaker Mike Johnson is hardly excited about that prospect. Johnson says right now, Republicans are floating alternate solutions to bring premiums down.
And we're pulling those ideas together, and there will be a Republican response to this.
President Donald Trump is lobbying hard for his idea.
I want the money to go to the people.
Create health care savings accounts for each individual American.
Let the people go out and buy their own health care.
An absolute sham. They literally have no effective replacement.
Part of his deal with Democrats to reopen the government, Senate Majority Leader John Thune promised a Senate vote on ACA tax credits by December 12th. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
Well, in tech news, the hidden data inside every photo you take and what you might be sharing it without realizing. Rich DeMuro explains in today's Rich on Tech.
We love taking photos on our phones and sharing them online, but you could be giving away more than you think. Here's why. It's the hidden info inside every photo you take.
Almost any time a photograph is taken, there's a lot of data collected along with that photo.
Smartphones embed location data inside every picture, which means when you share a photo, someone could see exactly where it was taken.
I think in most cases, we are sharing our location and information about us without even knowing it.
That means someone could see where you live, work, or vacation.
I don't think most people realize that all of this information is being collected about us all the time.
Sites like Facebook and Instagram strip out this data so others can't see it. But not every site does that, and the site itself still has access to this treasure trove of information about you.
Now, hacking and the absence of data privacy is the new normal because these companies have invaded our privacy.
To see what's hiding in a photo, drag and drop it into the website onlineexifviewer.com. You'll see the phone model, a map, and other details. To stay private, you can turn off location tagging altogether, but that makes your own collection tougher to organize. A better idea? Just remove it when you share. On iPhone and Samsung, tap Options at the top of the share screen, then toggle off location data. Pixel users can download an app called Scrambled EXIF to remove data. On Windows, right-click a photo, select Properties, then Details, and click Remove Properties and Personal Information. On Mac, open a photo, tap the info icon, then GPS, and click Remove Location Data.
Privacy is dead once the Trojan horse of these phones entered into our lives.
Keep in mind, some apps also read this location data, which is why your phone is starting to ask if you want to give apps full access to your camera roll or just limit them to specific photos. I'll put links to all of these tools on my website, richontech.tv. I'm Rich DeMuro. That's Rich on Tech.
Well, coming up, the city of El Paso is asking the state of Texas for an exemption to keep the Rainbow Street markings in downtown. We're going to go over your thoughts in today's In the Comments segment. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, putting local first.
Scan to download KTSM Plus free.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
You know what we need is that good hard freeze where all the leaves snow that morning. You know, that special wake up to that pitter pat. What am I talking about? That's like 60 bags of leaves. Let's hold. Here are the high temperatures so far today. 61 Las Cruces, 66 El Paso, 68 for Juarez, 64 for Deming, and 68 at the Pass. Let's compare to other towns. Albuquerque, 51 so far, 61 Amarillo, a big warm up in North Texas, 48 so far Dallas, 49 Texarkana. Yesterday they were stuck in those 30s, but Texas is beginning to warm back up. And tomorrow another mild day. But I want to draw your eye to this approaching line of clouds moving through Flagstaff, Arizona right now up into the Four Corners region. This is a little low pressure system that will slowly truck its way down toward the borderland over the next 36 hours. Now, right now we have a winter weather advisory for a good chunk of Colorado as well as northern New Mexico. This system is fairly dry and fairly thin, so if we get anything at all, I think what we're going to do is cloud up starting late tomorrow afternoon. We'll be mostly cloudy Wednesday night into Thursday. On Thursday we have a very, very slight chance of a couple of drops here or there, and I mean it, just drops, nothing major, but we will cool down rather significantly to 58 degrees as a high temperature on Thursday. Here are the winds. Now, we're not going to be as cold tonight. We've got a breeze coming in from the west-southwest at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and believe it or not, even the slightest breeze like that can keep things just a little bit warmer. Here is your 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. We're going to start the day off with lots of sunshine, but by the afternoon, here come the mostly cloudy skies with a high of 66 degrees, southwest winds 10 to 30 miles per hour. Your allergy forecast, 12 tomorrow, and then 2 9s Thursday and Friday. For you tonight, Las Cruces, 35 degrees, the low temperature, clear skies, light breeze from the west, 61 your high temperature tomorrow with mostly cloudy skies by late in the day. For us, 40 at the International Airport and down in the valley, a little cooler, down to about 35 tonight, and then tomorrow 66 high temperature with mostly cloudy skies. Now, only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. We can expect a big change on Thursday. That will be our winter-like day with a high temperature of 58 degrees, clouds, couple of drops possible, but not likely. Here's Friday, windy and clear again with a high temperature of 63. We'll be moving back the other direction. 67, a little windy on Saturday, not too bad. Beautiful Sunday, 68. Monday, gorgeous. Tuesday, perfect. And then a high pressure builds long range. 72 Wednesday and 73 Thursday would put us into record territory. Monica.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much, Robert. And moving on over to our In the Comments segment, the city of El Paso is asking the state of Texas for an exemption to keep the rainbow street markings in downtown. Now, as we've told you before, back in October, Governor Greg Abbott actually told cities and counties to remove roadway markings that display political or ideological messages. And it's all part of a push to make sure only traffic-related symbols stay on Texas roads. So the new state mandate on pavement marking standards would prohibit rainbow-colored sidewalks on paths honoring LGBTQ pride. Now, we did share the story all over our social media accounts, and well, lots of you had lots you wanted to share. So we're going to start off with Yvette Hernandez Crawford, who writes, "Crosswalks are for safety. They should only be white." Tina M. Perez writes, "Why? The crosswalk is a safety corridor for all pedestrians to cross the street safely. All the stripes are either white or yellow, representing state safety rules like a one-way street or no passing or merging, etc. The stripes should not represent anything else other than that. There's plenty of other spots to paint a rainbow like the sidewalk. Then we can all walk on rainbows." Becca Valtierra says, "The people triggered by the colors of a rainbow is concerning." And here at KTSM, of course, we value your opinion and we do want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Más las cruces.
Hi, I'm Maya Thomas with the Parks and Recreation Department. We're excited to invite you to our annual tree lighting ceremony here at the Plaza de las Cruces on Saturday, December 6th from 6 to 8 p.m. Join us for an evening filled with live entertainment, local food vendors, and activities for the whole family to enjoy. All leading up to Mayor Eric Enriquez lighting the city's Christmas tree at 7 p.m. to kick off the holiday season. Right after the event, head over to the Rio Grande Theater for a special showing of Irving Berlin's White Christmas starting at 8 p.m. Admission is free and everyone is invited. For more information, visit the City of Las Cruces website or follow us on social media. We can't wait to celebrate the season with you, and we'll see you there.
Más las cruces.
Here's a last look at your exclusive 9-day forecast. Tomorrow, high temperature 66. We will turn cloudy by late in the day, and those clouds could lead very slight chance to a couple of drops here or there on Thursday. Don't count on much. 58 the high temperature with chilly winds. Windy on Friday, but warmer at 63. And then warmer winds Saturday is 67. The most perfect day in the history of all days. Well, let me count them. Monica, let's count them.
Let's see.
1, 2, 3, 4. This is record territory now. 72, 73.
So
in
like
December?
Robert, should we be concerned or should we be happy?
What I'm concerned about is that nature has a way of balancing herself, and I'm just worried about, are we going to be mild and then have a bitter
like
January where we
February?
get snow, and I don't know.
You just ruined my afternoon.
I did that. Some people really want some, so let's give them.
Maybe
let's give the people what they want.
Yeah,
but not
I
this
love it, Robert. Thank you so much. That's it for us. See you all tomorrow. Don't go anywhere.
Hair and wardrobe provided by